Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19 Cousins. I have a few thoughts on the Indiana Fever win last night. A few more. I did the post game right after, and there's just really two specific things that I wanted to address in this video that really stand out, that are very concerning for me going forward in terms of how the Indiana Fever are going to play and how far they can make it in the playoffs. First, really quick, there's this short clip. Uh, this is post timeout. The Atlanta Dream have the ball, 34 seconds left. Indiana have blown their lead. They're only up three. And after the timeout, this is how Caitlin Clark comes out of that huddle. Not a happy camper. I don't know what was said in that huddle. I don't know what's going on, but that is not a happy player. There was also another instance at the end of the game when Kelsey Mitchell was shooting her free throws that I wasn't able to find a clip for, but it just, something's not right. Something's not right. And then, real quick, unfortunately, I hate that I feel bad that the two clips I have are both Fag Bentley, because I really like her as a player, and we can chalk up part of it to being out so long with an injury. And she obviously was not the only two, but Caitlin Clark should have had 11 or 12 assists last night. This shouldn't have come down to a final possession anyway, regardless of everything else. But I mean, this is as easy a layup, folks, as you will get in stride. Look at that. Are you kidding me? And Temi is explosive, man. She's got a nice vert. I mean, that was up there. Great form. She's up there. She's not shooting her layup from 5 feet away because she can get up in the air. That was as easy as it gets, and yet missed. I cannot explain that. And then we had another one here as well, and unfortunately, this one was Temi as well. Really, just as easy. I mean, wide open, no pressure. I don't know if she rushed it, but it's just that stuff cannot continue to happen. And I tell you what, to be fair, this is not an Indiana Fever phenomenon, although they seem to miss more than their share. The WNBA has a lot of trouble making layups, folks, and that is been one of the complaints over the years as to why people say it's not that entertaining to watch in terms of basketball, because there's a struggle to make the easiest of shots in the sport, and it's just not fun to watch people repeatedly miss layups. That being said, we're going to get into two things that I find really, really concerning with the Indiana Fever. Now, this is the end of the game where the Fever got really, really lucky because they were scrambling. They could not get a rebound. Thankfully, the Dream make a bad pass that results in a turnover to Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston quickly gives it to Caitlin Clark with under 8 seconds to go. Caitlin Clark has nobody around her. She's the best free throw shooter on the team. She shoots free throws at a 90% clip. Absolutely ideal for the Indiana Fever. So let's go through this, and then we'll talk about what is so concerning with this final play. Fever get another one. They're scrambling. Thankfully, that pass right there won us the game, and then that mishandle. Boom. Okay, look at this. 7.7 seconds left. Caitlin Clark has the ball. Nobody's there for the immediate foul. The girl who tried to save it from going out of bounds is right in here with the fan, so she's recovering. Caitlin could just pivot and dribble up court until she's fouled. Run off a couple more seconds. Your best free throw shooter on the team, who's got ice water in her veins, who loves these moments. She goes to the line. She seals the game. It's over. Right? That's what happens, right? This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in sports. I am so torn on this because I can't believe that Caitlin Clark would do this on her own because she's so smart in terms of her basketball. She's got such a high basketball IQ that I refuse to believe that she thinks a timeout is the right decision there. You heard me set it up. Aaliyah Boston, ridiculously smart. As soon as she got that, she recognized where Caitlin Clark was, put the ball in her hands. That's the game. No one's around Caitlin Clark. They're not going to get a turnover out of that situation. She can turn and dribble because she's got space to do it. They've got to run her down and foul her. So maybe we've got like 4 seconds left and your best free throw shooter on the line. But you absolutely do not ever call a timeout here, which leads me to believe that had to have come from Christie's sides. And that clip I showed you about the timeout where Caitlin Clark came out unhappy. And to this part, I'm guessing, but I'm guessing it based on what I know, folks, is maybe Christie's side said, if we get a rebound, call timeout. Maybe that is what the instructions were, because I can't believe Caitlin Clark would do this on her own because it's just it's too dumb. You have to be really, 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 really dumb to do this. Never, ever is this. Like this one play for me. Okay, deep breath. But seriously, this one play for me is a fireable offense if the coach told them to call a timeout there because you had the absolute perfect setup. And I know some people, maybe new fans to the game, are thinking, especially considering that Kelsey Mitchell at the free throws, think, oh, what's the big deal? Well, here's the big deal. Again, you have your best free throw shooter. The ball is in her hand. Your best dribbler as well. Your best ball handler. The ball is in her hands. No one's around her. She should dribble up court until she's fouled. You take more time off the clock. She shoots free throws. Now, instead, you have to inbound the ball. You have to get the ball back into play, and there is a risk in doing so. Now, the Atlanta Dream can devise a way to defend your inbound play and prevent you from getting the ball in. And if you are going to get it in, they're going to prevent Caitlin Clark from being the one getting the ball. Did they win and it worked out? Yes, doesn't matter. Yeah, that's it does not matter. You never ever do this. You do not call a time. Now, look, if that was, I don't know, Shaquille O'Neal with the basketball and he doesn't have a good free throw shooter to get it to immediately, maybe then you call timeout, but not when the ball's in your best dribbler's hands, who also is your best free throw shooter. And now you're putting your team at risk by having to inbound the basketball and possibly have a turnover and Atlanta ties the game, or you get the ball into the hands of a really bad free throw shooter. So that absolutely should never happen. The second one that's really concerning that I think is partly on Caitlin Clark, partly on Christie Sides in the way that she's coached Caitlin Clark all season, and partly on players like Kelsey Mitchell. But this should absolutely not happen. And I know there are a lot of people who are upset that people like myself talked about the shots Caitlin Clark was passing up. Oh, we're being too critical. Folks, again, true passionate fans, they're looking at how games are played and how they're won or lost, not just if they win. Ultimately, yes, you want to win, but plays like this are indicators of what are they going to do in the future? How are they going to win games in the future? And we've got to talk about it. It just is. This is not something that should ever happen. This is a problem right here, folks. This is a problem, a big one. Now, Caitlin Clark's going to come off, get the ball. Look where she has the ball. Look at where Caitlin Clark has the ball. Look at her body positioning. She is turning to square up. The player guarding her not going to be in the play at all. She's not just rubbing off the pick slow. Look at her. Look at her body positioning. She's not getting to Caitlin Clark. This player's in the paint, who is guarding Aaliyah Boston, not even trying to step up and get Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is squaring up for basically a foul shot. Okay, squaring up for basically a foul shot. Gets it there. Look, now there's that hop step that says I'm shooting again. Player Gardner is still where she was before. Player Gardner, Aaliyah Boston actually stepped back. This is as wide open as you'll ever see Caitlin Clark for a jumper. And look, the other team doesn't care. You know why they don't care? Because what Caitlin Clark has shown lately is she will not take this shot. This is a gimme for Caitlin Clark, and she's not going to shoot it. And the defense knows she's not going to shoot it. What does Caitlin Clark do here, folks? 100 times out of 100, this should be a shot. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her still, okay? Look at this. She is squared up. She is wide open. Nobody is trying to defend her. And also, by the way, none of her teammates are moving. But what does Caitlin Clark do here? Are you kidding me? She throws it backwards to Kelsey Mitchell 30 feet from the basket to then run away from the basket and get it back 30 feet from the basket. Now she's got it on her back hip. So she's the defender in this situation. She's playing defensive offense. And what do they have? That is, I'm sorry, but that is selfish basketball by Caitlin Clark. I know you're going to say, whoa, what do you mean? How is that selfish? Because Caitlin Clark, so that I guess she won't be called selfish or that she won't have problems with her teammates, she plays selfishly to avoid that. Because if you're the Indiana Fever and you're out there to win the game, Caitlin Clark is hurting you by not taking that shot. Therefore, that non shot by Caitlin Clark is a selfish play because she's doing it for herself to not have to deal with being called a ball hog or not having to deal with other players who don't want her shooting so much or whatever the behind the scenes may be in terms of the dynamic there. But there is no universe where Caitlin Clark should not shoot that basketball. I mean, that is unquestionable. She caught it squaring up to the basket, basically a free throw. No defender anywhere near her all the time to release this shot. And she doesn't take it. I'm just going to let this roll through so you can see it. But look, I mean, okay, boom, that girl's out of it. Look at this. She's already squaring up. I mean, this is how do you not? I don't care who you are on this team. You take that shot. Look, she's even holding it, looking around, and still nobody's defending her. Do you realize that? Even when she brought it down and you can see the movement, she's looking to pass, and no one is closing on her. She still had the shot. I'm going to lose my mind. Oh. That is so painful to watch. That is so painful to watch. By the way, real quick, just so you know, and this is where I say Caitlin Clark needs to get over it. She needs to get a little bit of arrogance in her game, and I mean that in the best sense. I know there's a fine line, but when I say arrogance, I mean Larry Bird is going to take the final shot for his team. Larry Bird's never going to pass up that shot. Michael Jordan, never going to pass up that shot. Kobe Bryant, never going to pass up that shot. Allen Iverson, never going to pass up that shot. Steph Curry, never going to pass up that shot. By the way, for any of you who want to give credit to Christie Sides for her halftime adjustment in starting Lexi Hall instead of Katie Lou Samuelson, Katie Lou Samuelson took herself out of that game, said she wasn't feeling well. There was no adjustment by Christie Sides, folks. Christie Sides is not a good coach. She's still not a good coach. She has not gotten better. You can look at the fact that they're winning a little more, and you can try and attribute it to that as to her if you want. You can look at the very selective video they were giving you during the Olympic break and like, oh, look how wonderful she is. She's getting the team to be friends and all this other stuff. It doesn't matter. It's about how they're playing. And Christie Sides and her half-court slow offense and her continuation with these lineups and her not wanting Caitlin to shoot It's ridiculous. Folks, she's still not a good coach. She has not gotten better. But I'll leave you with one good note. Two, hey, they still won. But again, the stuff I showed you is concerning going forward. And oh, Caitlin Clark set another WNBA record last night. Her 21st game in a season with at least 15 points and 5 assists. Never been done before. Not a rookie record, it's a record. 15 points, 5 assists in at least 21 games this season. So I'm going to leave it there. I apologize to anyone who just wants to love the win and isn't interested in dissecting problems that come from a win, but these are two big, I think, really big things that can blow up in their face going forward that need to be fixed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you not want to hear any criticism when they win? Are you a Christie Sides fan now? Do you want her gone yesterday? Hit me up in the comments. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I will talk to you later.